If you do anything wrong in your life, and I find out about it, I'm gonna try to take everything away from you. And I don't care when I find out. Could be today, tomorrow, 15, 20 years from now. If I find out, you're fucking finished. Who's that? That's you!
Exclusive security video from the Atlanta Comedy Theater in Gwinnett County. You can see Wanda Smith and her husband by the front door. Watch as Katt Williams.
So I did not want to go back and forth with Katt Williams like that. That bothered me so bad. That really bothered.
If you've been anywhere near social media this week, you already know the circus is back in town, and Katt Williams is at the center of it again. His name is plastered across every timeline because fans won't stop dragging up that legendary clash with late talk show host Wanda Smith. You remember the moment Katt ripped her to shreds live on her own platform, leaving the whole studio frozen in disbelief. Now the internet is flipping the script, saying Katt didn't just roast Wanda, he nuked the career she built brick by brick. Some are even calling him out as straight-up cruel for how brutal it all went down. Clips are spinning everywhere, Katt clowning her broccoli talk, mocking recipes, flipping jokes so sharp they cut deep. "Have you ever burned broccoli?" he snapped, and the crowd roared, while Wanda's face told a whole different story. Fans today aren't laughing. They are blaming him for killing her shine and derailing her bag. And the timing? Insane. All of this flared up right after Katt made headlines by apologizing for those controversial Michael Jackson jokes from his old specials. That one move reopened the vault, and people are demanding receipts. Now Twitter's in flames asking the real question. If Katt could publicly apologize to Michael's family, why not extend that same respect to Wanda's people? The demand is growing louder, with fans accusing him of picking and choosing who deserves his remorse. And just when you think the fire couldn't spread further, Dave Chappelle jumped straight into the smoke.
I shouldn't have, honestly. Some of these things are the reason that the enemy decides to go ahead and let you be famous, is your ability to tear down your own kind, no matter how high they are.
Standing solid behind Katt, defending that Wanda moment as nothing more than comedy doing what comedy does, raw, unscripted, and ruthless. According to Dave, Katt wasn't out of line. He was just doing what he's always done, snapping back the second somebody tried to test him. And Dave didn't sugarcoat it either. He lit into the cancel-happy crowd, blasting people for digging up old, dusty clips just to tear someone down over jokes from another era. To Dave, comedy's job is to cut, push, and challenge. He even pulled out a Robin Williams gem. Comedy is the only job where you can use everything you know. That line hit heavy, especially when Dave warned against letting soft critics muzzle raw expression. So let's really unpack this. What actually went down between Katt and Wanda? Why that awkward old interview is making fresh rounds? And why Dave thinks fans are blowing smoke way bigger than the fire. That's the storm at the center of this whole thing. Meanwhile, Katt himself has already admitted he regrets some of his past choices. He confessed that those Michael Jackson jokes from his early specials cross a line, and looking back now,
Under the sound of my voice, do you have a real co-worker?
Right.
Do you have a ratchet friend? Do you have a sister? Do you have a cousin? Do you have a nephew? Do you have a niece? Is they so ghetto? When did that become marketable? Knock it off. They like her because she want to sleep with a white man. That's why the only thing she said was, I want to give it to Brad Pitt. The only thing before that in the movie with me is I slept with this white man and I got a white baby. She had a white husband for the 14 years she been doing comedy, and then all of a sudden divorced him, then said he abused her, then wrote a book, then said he didn't, and then now we're at Brad Pitt. So hey, you can say whatever you want. She said she got a disease for JJ. Don't nobody check for that. I support Linnell, Melanie Camacho, Miss Laura. All the people that got skipped over in the list between now and then. There's no shade to nobody. We are in the only business where, as a black woman, what you look like is not supposed to be held against you. And time again, they show you that you can be sidetracked by anything light-skinned.
he sees the stain they left. Katt went even deeper, claiming that the industry itself played him dainty. He said those checks he cashed back then weren't innocent. They came with strings, agendas, and traps. According to him, The whole setup was designed to pit black men against each other for laughs, feeding an audience that loved the spectacle more than the art. That confession cracked the door wide open on a bigger conversation. Was Katt ever truly in control of the game, or was the game always playing him? And the second Katt dropped that gem, social media pounced like sharks in a frenzy. People started calling him out as a hypocrite, demanding he patch things up with every single person he ever roasted, Wanda Smith included. The comments were brutal. One user flat-out blasted, "Katt Williams is a POS for what he did to Wanda Smith." Another chimed in, "I remember when Katt clowned Wanda and the whole city of Atlanta laughed along."
Do you cook? Do you cook for your kids?
Absolutely.
Tell me some of the things you cook that they're proud of. Like, Dad made some. You got the best spaghetti. You got the best steak. What do you have? Say, what do they like?
Just because you're a poor interviewer doesn't mean...
You answer the question and just tell me.
Man, you're a strong black woman. Is it okay for me to answer?
Come on.
You keep interrupting the answer. Everyone can hear it. It sounds like you like me a little bit. It's starting to bleed over the airwaves.
It was hilarious then, but Katt always takes disrespect too far. The anger boiled over, especially now that Wanda's gone, and folks suddenly want to rewrite history like they'd always defended her. The timeline wasn't buying it. One viral post summed up the mood perfectly. Now Wanda Smith has passed away, and suddenly everyone in Atlanta want to act like they were always riding for her. Please, if I was Wanda, I'd haunt you lames. The hypocrisy call-outs kept flying, dragging Katt's name deeper into the mud. But here's the twist. Katt isn't standing on that battlefield alone. Dave Chappelle jumped straight into the fire, swinging with full force and pulling no punches. Dave didn't just defend Katt. He drew a hard line in the sand. He compared the uproar to when the world tried to bury him over his own trans jokes, and his stance hasn't budged an inch. To Dave, comedy is the last free battlefield left, the one place you can speak your truth loud, raw, and unapologetic. His message was crystal clear. No comedian should ever bow to the mob, no matter how loud the outrage gets. Comedy either stays untamed, or it dies. Dave doubled down hard, warning that the second punchlines get policed, the very soul of comedy gets buried. But here's where it goes off the rails. This isn't just about cancel culture. Katt swears Wanda and her husband actually tried to press him in real life after that roast. If that's true, then we're not talking about jokes anymore. We're talking about studio smoke that spilled straight into the streets. So let's roll the tape back to September 2018. Katt pulled up to the Frank and Wanda in the morning show alongside comedian Red Grant, who was just there promoting gigs in Atlanta. What should have been a smooth 20-minute interview flipped into internet history. The clip went nuclear overnight, becoming V103's most-watched interview ever. And once you hit play, it's obvious why. At first, the vibe was light, laughs, slick jabs, the usual morning banter. Wanda was poking fun, Katt poked back, but then she dropped a sharp line his way, and that's when the whole thing snapped. Katt didn't just clap back, he hijacked the interview. In seconds, he flipped the entire studio into his personal stage, roasting her with surgical precision while the host scrambled to keep up. And Katt wasn't done with Wanda. He suddenly veered into Tiffany Haddish territory.
Good at telling us about what's going on in jail.
Yes, ma'am, and getting out to tell you.
Section 203, your hair is kind of...
That joint was...
My hair is 19 inches long and I have no perm.
You don't?
Oops.
Oh, that's not a perm.
No, it is not. Nice lady.
That's natural.
Come run one of your gnarled fingers.
What's here?
While you on air, so they can hear you live.
Come on, let me come over here.
No. That's not how that works.
Oh, okay, well then stay over there.
Don't worry, ain't nobody putting their hands through yours.
That's right, they don't have to. I don't want them to. Get on out of here. You okay? You okay?
Only one of our hands moving while we talk.
Are you all right this morning?
Claiming she scored that Netflix bag without ever paying her dues on a proper comedy tour. He doubled down, saying Tiffany didn't even have one original joke to her name. For Katt, it wasn't just shade, it was a bigger indictment. He called Hollywood out for sidelining truly gifted black women in comedy while propping up Tiffany as a safe, polished pick. That's when Wanda finally jumped in, trying to shield Tiffany. She argued Tiffany's rise wasn't industry politics. It was because she was authentic, relatable, and real. But Katt wasn't buying it. He pressed harder, painting Tiffany as Hollywood hand-selected face the comic white audiences could stomach without ever being challenged. And just like that, the interview spiraled from fun banter into one of the most brutal roast sessions ever caught on tape. Katt cut her off clean, saying Tiffany only climbed to the top of the black female comedy ladder for 2 reasons. She kept talking about dating white men, and she had lighter skin. Then he locked eyes with the camera and sent a direct shot. Tiffany, wherever you are. By this point, the tension in the room was thick enough to cut with a knife. Wanda tried to ease it with a slick jab, asking Katt if he even cooked for his kids. But instead of letting it roll off, Katt flipped it into a full-blown roast session. He came swinging with ruthless one-liners, cracking on her health, her weight, and even tossing Lil Mama back at her until the whole room was howling. Wanda tried to keep her cool, but Katt's speed and precision turned the show into a stage. For a second, they laughed like the smoke cleared. But Katt wasn't done. He dragged Wanda's kids into the crossfire, roasting them live on air while she forced out a nervous smile that couldn't hide the sting. Wanda scrambled to clap back, throwing shade at Katt's old legal troubles and even firing shots at his hair. But every swing just gave Katt more ammo. He doubled down, roasting her nonstop with wild gestures and barb jokes that Wanda couldn't keep up with. Near the end, she went for one last desperate jab, calling him Lil Mama and even hinting at his sexuality. But Katt shut it down instantly, making sure the MIC drop belonged to him. Watching her get torched on her own show was brutal. But what came next was even crazier. Just days later, the smoke spilled out of the studio. Wanda couldn't shake the humiliation, and word spread fast that she had her husband and son pull up on Katt. September 15th, 2018, the parking lot turned into a showdown. According to Katt, he was just there fresh off an Emmy win, ready to rep Atlanta. But Wanda and her husband Lamar weren't coming for applause. They were coming for payback. And this time, it wasn't comedy. Reports claimed Lamar flashed a weapon, and leaked security footage showed the chaos unfold. Katt and Wanda traded heated words before Lamar stormed in, chasing Katt across the lot. The police report confirmed Lamar admitted to running after him, but insisted the gun just fell out while he was moving. To fans, that excuse was shaky at best. Wanda tried flipping the script on her radio show, claiming Katt only pulled up to clown her unprovoked and Lamar was just protecting his wife. Then, boom, TMZ blew the lid off. Fresh surveillance footage showed Lamar with a gun in his hand, chasing Katt straight into a grocery store like it was an action flick. To be fair, the tape never caught him aiming it, but the image was damning enough. Lamar doubled down, saying the weapon just slipped out, but nobody was buying it. The whole fiasco turned into legend, cementing that roast as one of the most infamous comedy clashes ever. But that excuse didn't stop the fallout from spiraling into one of Atlanta's wildest comedy feuds. Fast forward to January 2019. Wanda suddenly got axed from V103 with no explanation. The streets immediately connected it to her infamous Lil Mama jab where she used being gay as a punchline. And in a city like Atlanta, where the black LGBTQ community holds real weight, that slip might have sealed her fate for good. Meanwhile, Katt stayed quiet. Not a word when she lost her seat. Years later, though, January 2024, he finally broke the silence on Club Shay Shay and dropped a bombshell. According to Katt, the whole Wanda saga didn't even start on air. It started backstage. He claimed Wanda promised she wouldn't bring up his kids or his legal past. But the second Tiffany Haddish name hit the airwaves, she broke that deal wide open. That's when Katt says he flipped the switch from playful sparring to all-out war, roasting her into dust on her own show. And Katt didn't stop there. He doubled down, saying Wanda wasn't just cracking jokes. She was trying to humiliate him in front of her gay fan base. In his mind, that was a very move that cost her career. He even went at her husband, calling the parking lot ambush a straight setup. Katt swore that weekend it wasn't about comedy anymore. He had a real gun in his face, real danger on camera, and the world shrugged like it was nothing because it happened to him. He compared it to Will Smith smacking Chris Rock, saying if anyone else had been chased down with a weapon, the whole world would have exploded. But because it was Katt, people just laughed it off. His take? Wanda wasn't battling jokes. She was trying to take him out. That's how deep he believes the smoke ran. And when Wanda tragically passed in October 2024, just one day after her 58th birthday, Katt stayed stone-cold silent. No posts, no tributes, No condolences. Nothing. That silence split the internet in two. Some said Katt played it smart, because if he had spoken, people would have ripped him apart as a hypocrite. Others swore he owed her at least some public respect, beef or no beef. But the truth is, nobody knows what happened behind closed doors. Maybe he reached out privately. Maybe he didn't. What we do know is social media refuses to bury this feud. They keep digging up clips, pushing cancel hashtags, and trying to drag Katt back into fire. And that's exactly where Dave Chappelle's point hits. Cancel culture doesn't care about context. It only cares about clicks. So here's the real question. Should Katt make peace and apologize to Wanda's family the way he did with Michael Jackson's? Or is the internet just chasing clout by reviving old wounds? Drop your thought below. Smash that like, hit subscribe, and stay tuned, because this story is far from over.